If you've got this in your car, water, very, very rare for a Land Rover to leak, but there's a few places that you get water in with Land Rovers and it can be quite bad. And the most notorious is the vent seals. They are terrible. I'm going to replace these. These have got worn out, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Another place they leak sometimes is the joint here in the rubber windscreen rubber can open up and leak. So it's a good idea to put some seal around that. But this is usually the culprit. Rain comes down here, gets down here, into the seal, and it leaks. So I'm going to fix that now. So all you need is you don't need many tools at all. And I'm going to get them out and the seal, and we're going to undo one, and then I'm going to explain how you replace the rubber. Because you've got to take them off. You can't do them in situ, and I'll explain why. So I got the vent off, and looking round the seal you can see how it's worn out by being compressed for a long time. This car is 26, 27 years old, so I mean but you can see how water sort of can get down and leak, and especially in this corner you see the seal's almost gone completely. These are the new seals. They're a little bit different. They're two sorts of rubber, one softer than the other. Can you see that? They're self-adhesive, and these are a good replacement for even the old series. You know, you used to have that rubber on there, and it was a real mess to fit and mess about with. So they're a good replacement. And one other thing is you can see where the pivot or the mechanism for the vent is over here, not in the middle. So that means it pulls down tighter over here than over here, and this is where all the water is. So you've got to make sure that this is nice and even. Now I just noticed there, this is absolutely stiff as a board. Look, it's really stiff. So I'm going to loosen that off, and I'm going to use some of our fluid film and spray all inside that mechanism to loosen it off, because that should be nice and free. And that's another reason why they won't seal up, because that can't work. You see, look, it's just tight. So I'm going to free all that lot off, put this seal in. They're really easy to get off. What you need is a little ratchet spanner like this. This is 5/16, where I think they're 8mm, but 5/16, 8mm is exactly the same, in my opinion. So there you've got two little nuts. You need a pair of long nose pliers to get the pins out of here. You just pull them out, but you're nipping the. There's a little. It's like a split pin type of thing. So you pull them to nip them together, pull them out, and then when you put them back in, you just put a screwdriver in there and open them up so they don't fall out. Very, very simple. Very simple. Anyway, I'm going to replace this and we'll get back. So I've replaced the seal. To do that, make sure it's all clean behind there. Take the old one off. Look at the state of that. It's finished. So take the old seal off, clean it all up. Make sure it's dry, because that old seal, surprisingly, was just like a sponge, because this car's just coming from the outside. So start in the corners, pull your rubber tight into the corners, and then press it down evenly. And now it's ready to fit back on. I've loosened this off, and this is how free they should be. There's two separate pieces here, look. So that's how free they should be. And I've also given them a good coat of fluid film, squirted it up in there. So this is tight, but it's getting better. That's the problem with them. And you see, the thing is, you can't really get in there with a key, because that's a damn rivet in there, and otherwise you have to take all the dash apart. So I don't want to do that, but I think we can get away with that. I'm going to play around with that for another few minutes and see how that works out. But anyway, now it's going to replace it, and we're going to see what it looks like. So there we have the seal and the vent all installed now, and you can see it's got that nice springiness against it now, you see. You know, this one's all hard. I used my Swiss Army knife to open these up, because it was more easy than getting in with a screwdriver. When you're stripping these down, put an old towel underneath You don't, because you'll move them around quite a lot trying to scrape that seal off, and you don't want to scratch your paint. You know, some people aren't like me and don't care too much about an old Land Rover, but when it's a customer's car, you have to be a bit careful. When I fit the two bolts that go into the vent here, for the first bolt, I take the pins out and put the first bolt in. They are very difficult. It's one of those jobs you want to give to your apprentice because you've got little tiny hands, but look at these great big spades here and you can't quite get in. So what I do is I put this one in that's nearest me first and then tighten that up, but not tighten it down, so you've got a little bit of wriggle room, and then the other one's just really easy to get in. So that's that side done. That's that done. I'm going to do the other side now, and then that job's finished, and hopefully this will be a nice dry car. What else is there to say about getting leaks in? One of the little things that they do leak is water can get down here, comes down here, and down here, down here, and it can get into the clutch cylinder tower. And right at the very bottom, there's a drain hole, and it always gets blocked up. I don't know where it is, it's down here somewhere. But it gets blocked up with debris, dust and stuff, so sometimes get an airline and clear that out, because then water will leak down through the bulkhead, top of the bulkhead, onto your feet. Not good. Well, not good, but it's not the end of the world, but it's eliminating another oil leak. Oil leak. I'm obsessed with oil leaks this week. Another one to watch out for is this here. I'm going to put some sealer in here to make this the sealer just stand proud a bit, because this is a really poor idea, but it was a compromise because I don't think they could have done anything about the gutter in here, because if it didn't have a gutter on, water would pour into the vent, but as you can see here, it's all blocked up. So water can't get out and down this side, it gets out and comes down this side or wherever it can get. But what it does is, even if these are clean, water will come down here, sit in this channel, go behind here, behind the seal, and drip inside the car. And you're wondering, wow, where's all that water come from? Well, it's coming from there. So while we're in that area, we can do quite a few little bits and pieces. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if you did, and see all the other stuff because it's kind of interesting. And I'm going to get on with the other side.